So it's May the 4th, Star Wars Day, and I wasn't going to let a May the 4th fall on a Thursday without saying something about something Star Wars. In this case, the something I'm going to say something about is last year's Star Wars series, Andor. If you have not seen this, pause me, go and watch it, come back. Yeah, you won't regret it. I think this is one of the best things that Star Wars has ever done. It is visually spectacular. It is spectacularly directed. It is extremely well acted and written. It's one of the most mature things that Star Wars has done, and I really do recommend it. It's one of my favorite things that they've made. The thing I want to talk about, is from one of the spectacular episode 6 called The Eye. In this episode, Cassian Andor is part of a team carrying out a heist that is to coincide with the eponymous Eye, which is the Eye of Aldhani, an astronomical event of amazing spectacle. It is described, and indeed we see it, as almost like 50 meteor showers occurring at once. Now, one of the characters says that these things are not meteors that are hitting the atmosphere. They are what he calls microscopic not-tungsten crystals, which means basically small crystals that glow in the dark. We do know a few things about the Eye. First, it only occurs once every 3 years. Second, it can be timed down to the minute. Third, it has some mass to it. We see that it is dangerous for spaceships to fly while this thing is going on, and indeed, some of them are damaged and destroyed by it. Fourth, it is best viewed from one specific location on the planet where people gather to watch this event every 3 years. Now, these are not consistent with a meteor shower, as the character says. Meteor showers occur every year. As I explained in my contact video, meteor showers are where the Earth passes through the debris trail left over from a comet. So wherever that is on our orbit when we hit it, that is the day that those meteor showers occur. Now, they can vary a little bit. Some of these comet debris trails have not dispersed very well, so they're kind of clumpy. So sometimes you run into it and there's not much going on. Sometimes you run into it, there's a lot of meteors. But they are very specific about how this only occurs every 3 years. 2 years you get nothing, the third year you get a spectacular light show. Also, meteor showers cannot be timed to that degree of precision. You usually give a few days, maybe even a week, whereas this seems to occur only over a span of hours. And third, meteor showers are visible all over the planet. They don't occur only in one part. Whatever part of the planet is moving into that part of the meteor shower at that particular moment, that's where the meteor shower is happening at that moment. And because they last for hours or days, you're going to be able to see them all over the planet. Now, you can drive yourself crazy trying to apply science to a Star Wars movie. A lot of times they do things because they look cool. And in this case, it looks spectacularly cool. But I'm a scientist, so I start to think about this. What could it be? Could you have this happen in real life? And I thought of 3 possible ways you could see something like this happen in real life. The first is that you could have a moon in orbit around a planet, and you could have a ring system that is tilted with respect to that, so that it only passes through it every 3 years or so. We do see these kind of ratios in the length of days or in the length of a year in the case of Mercury, or in the length of the orbits of the inner moons of Jupiter. So these things do happen where you get these exact ratios of orbits and intersections and so forth. But they're very specific in the episode that Aldhani is a planet and not a moon. The other thing I thought of was that this could be some kind of crystal agglomeration, some collection of crystals that is very tightly bound and is orbiting around Aldhani's sun, and is on an elliptical, longer orbit than Aldhani itself, so it only intersects it every 3 years. But it would have to be very tightly bound for it not to occur in those other 2 years. And it wouldn't have enough mass to hold itself together gravitationally, because if it had that much mass, it would be causing devastation when it hit the planet. So it has to be bound kind of electrostatically or something like that. I don't know that anything like that could occur in nature, so that seems very unlikely. The more I thought about it, the more this occurred to me that this is probably something living. This is probably a life form, a crystalline life form that is very dispersed and is returning to the planet every 3 years and to the same location every 3 years at a very precise time schedule in order to do whatever, in order to germinate, to reproduce. These are its seeds that it's casting into the atmosphere of Aldhani to reproduce. It could be just waste disposal, that it's dumping its waste on the planet, which is kind of disgusting, but for sure, fine. If it produces a great light show, I'll deal with it. But that would be the only thing that would make sense to me, that this is something alive, that is conscious, that is capable of timing things with this kind of precision and going to the same pot, like salmon swimming upstream in order to mate, or butterflies flying to Mexico. The more I think about it, the more this crosses me as the reaction of some kind of life form that exists in the Aldhani system. And that would be actually quite fascinating. That seems like the most likely explanation, but again, it's a Star Wars. Who knows? In the meantime, may the 4th be with you.
Wait, not yet.
We also today had the trailer for Dune Part 2 drop. Does look very spectacular and very promising. I really hope that they can stick the landing. I did a video on Dune Part 1, which is linked above. If there's new stuff that comes up in Dune Part 2, I don't think there will be too much, but if there is new stuff, I might make a Dune Part 2 video. But I'm really looking forward to that and hoping that it is as spectacular as the trailer promises. But in the meantime, I'm Mike Siegel. I write for Ordinary Times. Thank you for watching.